Hey everyone! So this week's gonna look really different than normal in the art room because I'm quarantined. So I will constantly be on Google Meet and you can jump on there anytime you have a question for me or want to have a one-on-one discussion, and I'm gonna kind of require that as you watch this video. So know that I'm always there and you can talk to me. Meanwhile, you're going to be following this video and pulling up this video every time you come to art class, and you're going to be following along with the steps and pausing when you need to. So the first thing you need to do is finish your sketch in your sketchbook that looks like this, and make sure you give it color schemes. So once you're finished with this and you have all your color schemes mapped out on there, then you're going to pop onto my Google Meet and you and I are going to have a one-on-one discussion, and then you're ready to move on. So if you're there, pause this video, go do that now. When you're finished with that and we've talked, or if we already have talked, then you're ready for your final paper. So you're going to then put your design that you did and take your time and go slow and start sketching it lightly onto your final paper. Then you're going to take a Sharpie. You can see I've Sharpied all my design onto there, and make sure with the geometric part that you use a ruler for your Sharpie part. So if you're here, pause the video and start working on that part and Sharpie all your design on there. If you are past that part and you're ready to move on, you're ready to hear about painting. So the painting part is going to require you to grab a couple supplies, so just hold off until I've told you about all of them and you can go get those 4 things. So the first thing is a cup of water. Remember, don't fill it up all the way, just a little bit will do because you don't want to spill up a giant mess if you do end up spilling. A paintbrush, a paper towel, and then a paper plate, and then I'm going to teach you right now how to put the paints on there because I don't want you to get too much because you're going to be having to wash this off every hour, so you don't want to get a whole lot. So hold on, let me put this on, and it'll take a second to get over there. Just be patient. Hold on 1 second. Don't get your stuff. So your paints are going to come pretty soon. There we go. Your paints are going to come in these little paint tubes, and they're over by the windowsill, just like all your other supplies. And you're just going to take the cap off and just put a tiny bit. It's just a little squeeze. Don't get too much. You can see my blue's running over. The blue is really, really runny. So if you could kind of separate that, that would be awesome. But I got red, yellow, blue, and white. And then you also have some black there. I don't have black here at my house. So then you'll just put a tiny bit of black on there too. So red, yellow, and blue are the 3 primary colors, and they mix to make everything else. So you guys know that. You will be able to make all the other colors from just those 3 colors, and then black and white will make your tints and your shades. Tints adding white, shades adding black. So once you get those paints, you are able to start painting. Remember, you already have a generalized idea of what you want this to look like in your sketchbook, and so stick to that because that's what we decided looked good. So don't just go changing it up now. But I decided I'm going to do like a warm colors color scheme over here on this organic part. So that means I'm going to be using reds, using yellows, and making some oranges in the middle. So if you need a color wheel to remember, red and yellow, when they mix together, they make orange. So the color wheel is going to help you use those primary colors and see what they make. Green and violet aren't going to make blue. That doesn't work that way. It's only the primary colors that do that. These are the secondary colors. But yellow and blue will make green, and red and blue will make violet. So keep that in mind when mixing your primary colors. And you're going to mix right on this plate, so I would make sure that you're going to have enough room for all the colors you need. So don't be mixing like all your red into your yellow and ruining all your yellow, okay? Give yourself some room, give yourself some space. So I'm making the warm colors, so I need to make orange. So what I'm going to do, remember, red is going to dominate my yellow, so I don't want to use a whole lot with that. So I'm going to take quite a bit of yellow over here, and then I have to wash out my paintbrush because I want to keep my red pure just in case I want to make purple. I don't want yellow in my red. So I'm going to take some red. Too much, don't get too much because it'll take over. And I'm going to mix that over here to make my orange, and that's a nice orange. So if I wanted to use that, make sure I have enough paint in the section that I'm going to be painting. If it's a large section, I might want to make more. Take more yellow, take more red, and mix it again. But since I'm going to make this in this section here, I'll move that up. This section here, I think I'm going to have enough. If I don't end up having enough, I could do what's called feathering, and I'll teach you how to do that here in a second. So when using the paintbrush, first thing, never get paint up here. And there's a little bit on there just from my mixing it around, but you're not supposed to use this metal part for painting. It's going to tear up your paper and it's going to be a mess. So try to only use the bristles of the brush or the hair, what I call the hair. So when painting, you can see the paintbrush that you have. I'm going to get a little closer here. The paintbrush you have is square shaped. So you're going to use the edges to create a really nice straight line along the side of your object or shape, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is right next to that Sharpie line, I'm going to make a nice smooth line. So here I go. I'm using the side of my paintbrush and I'm going nice and slow, and I'm not scrubbing it. I'm just painting it nice and slow. Okay, got that going on, and then I can use the front of my paintbrush and finish that off. I'm getting kind of close over here. And finish off over here. So then, as I go around the outside, if I get the whole outside done, it's a lot easier to fill in the inside in the middle because then I can go a lot faster like this. You can see I'm not scrubbing, I'm just going in one motion. Okay, and then I could turn my paper and use that this way so that I have more control over my paintbrush. Don't be afraid to move your paper around a lot. So then I'm going to finish this side nice and slow, just trying to stay within my Sharpie. If I get a little bit over the Sharpie, it's okay. No big deal. That's why we made those lines. Okay? So, got that, and trying to make it nice and even tone around there. So, say I wanted to fade it now. I'm going to back it up. And I want to fade it into a lighter color now. So I want this fading to a tint of this same orange. So I've got this orange, and I want to add white to it because it's going to make it into a tint. So I'm washing out my paintbrush so I don't ruin the rest. And I'm going to grab some white and add that to my orange. Okay. So now I've got this going on, and I want to start it over here and fade it in this way. So I'm just going to start painting that section, the lightest orange that I have, and then I'm going to start feathering it in. So I'm coming over here, and I'm going to start feathering this into the color that I have. So feathering is just kind of letting it lightly fade into the next color. So you can see the feathering there, and I don't really want that. So I'm washing out my paintbrush, and I'm just using water and then I can start kind of feathering those two colors together just using water. And hopefully they will mix. Tempera is kind of temperate, so you might have to do this multiple times to really make it look like it's blended nicely, which is okay. Just don't get rid of your colors, right? Okay, so now it's got this nice fading, and I'm gonna have to wait for it to dry to really see that happen, but up here you can see, kind of, the lighting's not so great, but I faded from a yellow to an orange up here. So that feathering happened up there, and that's dry up there. So that's one way. Oh, don't forget little sections. Really be thinking about that before you get rid of all your color, which I did. Oops. Lesson learned for you guys, because now I'm going to have to probably feather in another color this way, which is okay. I can get that figured out. So no mistakes. It's okay. We'll be able to fix it. If worse comes to worse, layer your colors. But here's the issue. You do not, these aren't watercolors. These are temperas. So you do not need a whole lot of water. If you're working with a whole lot of water, you're going to get holes in your paper and it's going to just damage the whole thing. So go slow. Don't use a whole lot of water. Don't scrub Bob's hair, Bob the brush. Don't scrub Bob's hair and get his hair all ratty. You don't like that either. And if you run into anything or need me for anything, please come to my Google Meet and talk to me. If you're only going to use the warm colors, here's another thing. If you're going to only use the warm colors, you don't really need blue until you're ready for that. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to get all the colors every time if you don't want to. So pause the video, work on this until the end of class, and then at the end of class, you are going to then come wash off your paintbrush, and always put paintbrushes hair up in the cup. Wash out your cup and put it on there, and then also wash off your paper plate and put it in the side little drying rack on the side of the huge sink. Okay, so wash up all your things, make sure there's no paint left on the paper plate, and then this is just going to go straight into your bin to dry. So, once again, if you need me for anything, please come to my Google Meet and talk to me. Otherwise, you can put your earbuds in, you can listen to your own music, and you can get to work. Have fun!